All right, so here we go. Yes, the devs revealed that Diablo 4 is seeing changes to guaranteed legendary drops, but Blizzard seems to know that this isn't quite enough. We'll talk more about Blizzard's plans for legendaries in Diablo 4. Yet with all of this, the community still feels like there's a problem. We'll dive into that as well. And there's one legendary that was recently mocked that is actually turning out to be very good. Well, we've got to talk about that one as well. Plus, if you are neglecting the Druid, now's the time to try this class out. I'll show you why. And here's what Diablo Season 2 desperately needs to change. But also a reminder here, we got to go over to the Blizzard Diablo 4 official blog. Yes, of course, patch 1.1.1 is going to be releasing on August 8th. But remember, on August 2nd, we are going to be getting the full patch notes. That is tomorrow. I will have that full breakdown for you all. So be sure to turn on notifications and return here because it should be quite entertaining to see what they're going to be changing up here in its entirety with patch 1.1.1. All right, so you're probably wondering what is going on with legendary drop rates and legendary items as a whole. So let's dive into this right now. So check it out. It says Diablo 4 announces drop rate changes for legendary items. It's actually going to be happening sooner than you guys might think. So check it out right here. It goes on to say this. Let's highlight this area. Starting with 1.1.1 update, players level 35 and above will have a guaranteed legendary drop on dungeon bosses and completing Legion events. Now, the Butcher is one of Diablo 4's most feared enemies, and players level 35 and up will get a guaranteed legendary drop when defeating him. And also, finally, Treasure Goblins got the biggest change here. Diablo 4 players will have a 100% chance of getting a legendary item starting at level 15. And you know, I think a lot of people would also like Uber Uniques, that drop rate, to perhaps be updated as well. Now, again, we will be getting patch notes for 1.1.1 to see if they change up anything with Uber Uniques, because right now, a lot of people are questioning, why are Uber Uniques even in the game if they are that super ultra rare? Let me know if you guys want them to stay ultra rare or not. But we also have the community asking this right here. Yeah, of course, they're changing the drop rates of legendaries, but does that really matter? Because isn't there a core problem here? It says Diablo 4 has killed my excitement for legendaries. And again, let me know if you agree with this or not. It says the legendaries in Diablo 4 are just aspects. There's no name or recognizable silhouette to be excited about. I miss the feeling of seeing something like the Furnace drop in Diablo 3 and being excited just seeing it on the floor. Somehow, one of my favorite parts of Diablo, getting showered in legendary loot, has become just as dull as picking up a rare. Uniques feel like they are supposed to fill that old role, but are too few in number, and even fewer are good. I would love to see a change either to legendaries themselves or additions of many more exciting, unique items. I hear you. Yeah, they're going to be adding more stuff in seasons, of course. That's going to carry over to the Eternal Realm, so we're going to be seeing more and more legendaries and uniques in the future as like a year goes by, 2 years. However, what they are going to be doing officially with legendaries with patch 1.1.1 is we're going to be seeing updates to the aspects overall, buffs to the numbers, increases in damage, that sort of thing. But I think what we're looking for is for them to really touch base with Ancestrals. I feel like they need to make the Ancestrals stick out more than Sacreds. Once you hit that World Tier 4 and you start seeing the Ancestrals drop, you need to have Ancestrals that are doing really cool things. I've said it time and time again. It can't just be about bonus power or, percentage update to your existing damage or something like that. That to me is cool, but it's also somewhat boring. You don't see any visuals on screen that go, wow, this thing can do absolutely crazy like fire effects or something like that. That's kind of missing, in my opinion, from Ancestrals, and we need more of that badly. But yeah, let's keep going. We got to talk about this one right here from icyveins.com. It says, the Oculus Conundrum, teleport underground, sure, but can it be good? So this is actually one of those uniques that you might be missing out on because it was kind of mocked and made fun of when it was first discovered in Season 1. In that, yeah, I can teleport you randomly throughout the world, and people kind of laughed at it. But it seems like someone discovered something about this one. So let's get into this Reddit post right here. It says, serious, the Oculus is a great legendary. Oh, really? So this was actually posted by someone that deleted their account. Interesting. So it says this right here. I just got the Oculus to drop and tried out for fun of it. It actually turned out to be a really great item. As a perfect roll, you get plus 15 to teleport. That drops the teleport cooldown to 5 seconds at level 16. and some cooldown reduction. Now, if you hit 6 mobs, it decreases to 2 seconds, combined with Remnant of Infinite or Arc Lash enchantment. You're stunning mobs in an AoE every 2 seconds with a 90% plus lucky hit chance. If you take the right passives and aspects, you'll also get a 30% barrier, 30% damage reduction, and 25 mana. However, they go on to say this as well. It says, but what about the random location teleport? If you use it from your skill bar, the location you teleport isn't random. The only thing you'll be giving up is the crit and vulnerability from a wand, and this season you're not exactly short on damage with the Nightmare Dungeon nerfs and Barber's Heart. Now, quickly to recap, it says you get 30% damage reduction, 90% lucky hit chance, AoE stun and mob pool every 2 seconds, 30% barrier every 2 seconds, and teleport location isn't random if used from the toolbar. So I gotta ask, is this gonna give you a reason to really try out this unique or not? Sound off in the comments below if it makes it sound a lot more viable to you. But to me, it sounds like it's worth a shot. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about that, considering they do mention here that you do kind of have to give up, of course, crit and vulnerability, which is a rough trade-off, I have to admit. But we've also got to talk about the Druid, because some of you are missing out on this. Check out this right here. It says 15 points in Lightning Storm deletes everything on screen. Look at that, rank 15 out of 5. Now, there was some curiosity going on here in the comments, so let's go into this. It says, how do you have 15? I only have 13. Ah, Hurricane Boots, right? And the response is this from Cryptic Gorilla Caulk, who says, yeah, Hurricane Boots and lots of cooldown on gear, so it's up almost 100% of the time. And then we have a further question here about it. It says, how did you manage that given the other skills in the picture? I'd have to be a Storm Wolf. Can't even be a maxed out Storm Druid without first being a Werewolf Druid. Build variety. Then we have the response here, +4 Mad Wolf chest, +4 gloves, and +2 from Hurricane Boots, the more you know. So let me know if you guys are going to try this one out. It gives you a definite reason to try out the Druid if you have been actually kind of skipping out on the Druid. Try it out in Season 1. And then we have Lightning Storm is the most fun and satisfying spell in the game. It's literally the only reason I'm still playing Diablo 4. It's also strong enough that I'm easily clearing Nightmare Dungeons 100s with it. And a response here, yeah, it puts sorcerers to shame. LOL. Do you guys agree? Druids versus sorcerers, who would win? Also in PvP, who's better, Druids or sorcerers? I gotta know. And then we also have some concerns with this, though, about other classes that are just not able to keep up with this sort of thing. Check it out right here. It says, I had a Steel Grasp Barbarian at rank 21. It was doing 4,000, 5,000 damage at level 80. The cooldown from rank 15 to rank 21 literally was reduced from 6.9 seconds to 6.2 seconds. Also, I was going to Steel Grip and Death Blow on a gamble. That was what Blizzard was buffing. I was completely wrong and now can barely clear at tier 25 at level 100. I don't die, but I can't kill anything with Vampiric or any dungeon bosses. So you can kind of see how there's a disparity here between the classes when it comes to power. And yes, again, officially, what Blizzard has said about the Barbarian is they are going to be really focused on the Barbarian and the Sorcerer, of course, in patch 1.1.1. So we're going to be seeing significant buffs to the Barbarian, I believe. And yes, that gives me another reason to try out my Barbarian. I haven't played Barbarian in a little bit, but let me tell you what, even after playing Necromancer and Rogue in Season 1, I still love the Barbarian. I just like the variety between all the classes. That's how I play it. But anyway, let's continue. We have this one right here. Blizzard should have allowed us to replay the campaign on World Tier 3 and 4 difficulty. I love this one. Comes from Daily Dury 212, who says this, I see a lot of complaints about the monotonous grind of dungeons and lack of post-campaign content. I really think they dropped the ball on this because that would have provided a lot of fan base another 70 to 100 hours of entertainment. The average time taken to complete the campaign is 35 hours apparently. I kind of rushed through the campaign in skill tree thinking I'd pay more attention on a World Tier 3 run, through for better equipment, etc., only to be stunned there wasn't another run. How this is not a thing in the game is beyond me. It would be also really cool if there were really unique rewards for these campaign bosses when you are playing on, say, World Tier 3 and World Tier 4, like kind of somewhat guaranteed drops. That would make it really viable to actually replay the campaign. So I think this is definitely something Blizzard needs to look at, what they can do to expand the campaign and make it very replayable. If you guys have any ideas about that, please throw them down in the comments down below. I'm kind of curious to see what you guys had to say. But we do have a response here. It says, to be honest, yeah, I would like to be able to replay the campaign at higher world tiers, but not at the expense of more newer content. I don't have a solution, just voicing my opinion. So I suppose the caveat is this: if they have to develop the AI for the campaign, make them more difficult or what have you in World Tier 3 and 4, it seems like a lot of you prefer new content over them revisiting what's already there. Sound off what you guys think about that one. All right, so we have got to visit Forbes this go around because it had a very interesting article here that says this: what Diablo 4 needs to change for Season 2. So let's get into this one. It's definitely very interesting. It goes on to say this: I've enjoyed Diablo 4's first season, even if I am temporarily taking a break to head over to Remnant 2 for a while. It's simple, it works, but of course, as a first season, it could certainly be improved. Here's what I would hope to see in Season 2 of Diablo 4 and beyond as we head towards a first expansion. So let's start out here with a better storyline. Look, I'm not expecting a masterpiece here, and while I know seasonal stories won't progress the main Lilith and Nara storyline, I think we need to scale it up a bit. One new NPC with one voice actor and a quasi-blue quest of storyline of a guy who is hunting his former mentor feels a little bare bones for a game that really impressed with its mainline campaign story. If a giant chunk of Blizzard is now devoted to Diablo 4 in this fading era of Overwatch and not a ton else on the horizon, I hope this can be beefed up a bit. You know, they've gone on record to say don't expect much from season storyline, that they're going to primarily introducing you to the seasonal mechanic, for example, the Malignant Hearts. But I do feel like there's potential here to expand it, and I 100% agree here with this article. Is it would be cool to see like 2 or 3 characters that are introduced per season. Maybe that's a big ask, but that would be very cool to see something like that instead of it just being that one character and that's it. All right, next up we have this one right here. It says new rank and file enemies. So we got one new boss here, but I would like to see more normal enemy types introduced than modified malignant minions that are normal minions with just a bunch of crap on them. They don't even change their names. There are plenty of old Diablo enemies that could still be brought forward, and I'd hope to see new ones in time as well, not just when we get some new map section and expansion. Yeah, I was pretty surprised with how they handled the malignant enemies, to be honest with you. They just reskinned them, and they didn't even make an effort to give them new moves or anything like that, which is pretty surprising. The only thing is that they added really was the fact that they drained your resource, which is a pain in the butt and not really a fun mechanic. I would much rather have these creatures do some sort of new move set. That would be very cool. So hopefully they could tap into that in Season 2 as well. But yeah, let's keep going here because he has some other great points. It says this right here: more accessible smoldering ashes. I don't really get why these are level gated to such an extreme degree. It feels like it's just something to put on the free track of the battle pass so something exists there. But you could just put in the seasonal journey chapters and it would feel much more accessible and useful. Now, the level gate is there to prevent people from buying Battle Pass tiers to get it, but it just does not need to be in the Battle Pass at all if it's going to be free either way. You guys agree with that one or not? Sound off. And then we have better free tier rewards. The armor set and weapon skins given out in the free track of the Battle Pass are laughably bad and directly break the promise that free armor cosmetics would be as badass as paid armor cosmetics. Instead, the paid battle pass and the store get all the cool armor and weapon cosmetics, and everyone else gets nothing. Will they ever improve this in the future? I'm going to say probably not. They're going to want to push you into purchasing what's there on the battle pass. It's monetization 101. I would be very surprised if they were to have armor that was matching what was available there on the battle pass. Should they do that? Of course. Yes, but they're trying to push you to spend your money. That's what it's all about. So I'd be very surprised if like the future seasons had like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking free armor. We'll see. It would be nice if that happens, but I'm not going to hold my breath at all because, yeah, there's some business going on behind the scenes. All right, scrolling down here, it says new in-game gear. I don't just mean legendary aspects. As this hooks into the above, there needs to be actual armor dropping in the wild that's added over time, or else everyone is going to be stuck with the same 20 or so sets forever unless they spend $30 in the shop, especially if the free sets don't get any better. Related to this, I would love if new unique items they added to the game were actually unique from a cosmetics perspective, as that seems like a huge oversight in both the base game and now. Iconic gear looks were always a part of legendary items in the past, but that seems almost entirely lost now. Yeah, that definitely needs to change up for sure. And then finally, we have no convoluted mechanics for their own sake. While the functionality of the Malignant Hearts is just fine, the goofy process of how they drop, kill an enemy, wait, respawn the enemy, kill the enemy again, feels convoluted for its own sake. I'm okay with different mechanics to get seasonal items, but something like this is pointless extra steps. Again, it's, for me, time padding. That's how I view it. Because, like, even when the enemy respawns, they're not, like, something wildly different. You don't see them, again, doing some sort of amazing, cool move sets. That would be cool. I'm willing to wait for the heart to spawn something like thousands of creatures on screen, a new enemy type that blows your mind or whatever. But that's just not happening. So I get where he's coming from on that one. Yeah, they need to look into that with future seasons. All right, next up, we have your top comments for my most recent video. Remember, leave a comment down below. It can end up right here in a future video. So let's do this. So my most recent video was this one right here. It's official. Things are changing at Blizzard. Future seasons and level scaling revision. Could it be possible because of another round of feedback from the community that we would see them bring back what was with level scaling? Seems like that's what a lot of you guys want to see, but let's see what you guys had to say in the comments about that one. First top comment here from Against All Its Games, who says this: the strongholds would be good to reuse, have a daily and weekly stronghold, add some decent rewards. The resources are already there. 100% agree. And then also change it up with the seasons. Use the strongholds in the seasons, really utilize those to where, like, you go into a stronghold, because I have us replaying them anyway, but it's wildly different. It's been taken over by like some sort of force or whatever. That would be very, very cool. Introduce new sub bosses into the strongholds, what have you. They could do a lot there. Next up, we have Clever Shades, who says, for season 1, I would have liked to at least seen world events similar to the Gathering Legions or the Malignant, a new Malignant world boss, and Malignant sigils, so we can scale up the tunnels and potentially fight a juiced Uber version of the new boss. Yeah, a Malignant world boss would be amazing. Man, what a missed opportunity. That would be very cool if they added in brand new world bosses related to the seasons. All right, next up, we have this one from Mira8348, who says, something I think could be really cool and would be for the devs to add a stronghold dungeon key into Helltide and Nightmare Dungeon drop table. This key would allow the player to replay any stronghold they have already cleared and choose positive and negative affixes to apply to the enemies and yourself. Now, the more challenging the player makes the affixes, the better the reward. And by adding these to drops from Helltide and Nightmare Dungeons, it wouldn't be a replacement to those activities, but something extra you would be able to do to add variety to the experience. Let me tell you what, absolutely love this idea, because what it does also is it makes content more viable and it ties content and connects it to each other. This is something that I really like, and I think it's a fantastic idea, and I think they should definitely look into this. The only concern is, how rare do you make such keys? You don't want to make it like ultra rare and get players frustrated that they can't even get into a stronghold again. So yeah, it's going to be up to Blizzard if they do something like that. The RNG is what it's going to come down to, or you're going to have a lot of frustrated players. But I love the idea of revisiting strongholds and like having like nightmare versions of strongholds and even like Helltide versions of strongholds. But yeah, there it is. Thank you all so much for the amazing comments. Great ideas. I really hope Blizzard is taking notes on your ideas, because I personally think they are like go-to ideas. Hire some of you guys from the comment section, because you guys know what you're talking about. Trust me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.